Hi everybody. I wanted just to make a short video today to look at the issue that those of us who use pen and paper have perennially, which is how to make our information portable, mobile. So those of us who still use pen and paper know how much better and more satisfactory they are than trying to store our lives in mobile phones. For example, I can open my diary, get an overview of what's going on, note a new appointment and be gone before most other people with their phones have been able to switch it on, find the right app, scroll through to wherever the date is that they need to be looking at, and so on. But using paper does mean that often we are confronting the issue of having enough space to put everything down, write everything down that we want, but at the same time to be able to take everything with us. In my case, for example, I have a computer which I do use and this one contains a program which I use to store information about all undated repeating tasks which recur in a constant pattern. For example, putting out the rubbish every 14 days or winding a clock every 7 days. Then I have my diary, in which I store my appointments as well as dated tasks. And this has to be A5 format because anything smaller, I've tried smaller, but it's just too small for me to be useful. I can't get everything down there that I need for my business. Then of course I have various notebooks for general information and project specific information. And finally I have my mini Finchley, in which I write undated non-recurring tasks such as paint the kitchen, replace a light bulb in the cellar, buy such and such a book, for example. And this also partially functions as my wallet, and it's the only truly portable part of the setup I have. So true, I can take all this stuff with me if I'm going to a customer, for example. I put it all in a bag, but it is bulky and it doesn't solve the issue of being able to jot down sudden thoughts and inspiration, for example, or being able to note information or get information when you're in situations where you're not carrying a bag. For example, if I'm digging the garden, or I'm in front of the TV, or I'm having my dinner. And in that case I need something to focus and to be portable and to take with me. So I have a solution and I've been trying it for a few months and it works for me. You might find it useful. Undoubtedly many of you won't. It's not for everybody, but that's fine. It's just a suggestion, take it or leave it. So here it is. That's it. An A7 piece of paper. It's my solution. Now I know it's an anathema for people to use scraps of paper. A lot of us use notebooks and so on because we want to get rid of these endless numbers of post-it notes. But I'm pragmatic. I like to find a solution that works for me. And this isn't lots of scraps of paper. This is just one scrap that enables me to really focus on what I need to do. And so how do I use this one piece of paper? Well, I've made several designs. This is just a sheet of paper, obviously, rough paper. I've made some designs, and what worked for me is something like this. It's actually very simple. I'll try and get it a bit closer for you. So I don't believe in duplicating work. I avoid writing everything down more than once, so already having to write things down on this piece of paper is already more work than I prefer to do. But anyway, I put all the information about the day and the date and things that are occurring on that date using the same mail merge file as I used to make the inserts for my diary. So in this case I'm not having to duplicate work, it's already there. This square specifically at the top is just for me because I note down the working times of my better half who's on a shift system. And then this table at the top is simply for appointments, because then I can focus on the appointments at the top, and the space at the bottom I use for tasks and jottings. Now I don't write down everything I need to do in a day. I only write down the things I need to do not at my desk, because the whole idea is to make my work portable. And if I'm at my desk, I have all of the information, I have all of my notebooks and all of my computers available. I don't need to have everything written down twice. By the way, when you print on, it's very difficult for a lot of printers to print on A7 paper. Most of them can't do it. So what I did is I take an A5 sheet, print 4 of these to a sheet, and then cut them up. And actually this is also a great way of getting rid of all of these unwanted inserts and pads that probably most of us have lying around in piles. I certainly do, and I'm very happy to be able to find a useful way to get rid of them, to use them. So this is an example. So that's what I do, and this is just an example of how I fill it in. So I have the shift, I have appointments there, and I have just jottings of tasks that I need to take with me when I'm not at my desk. And that's it. It allows me simply to focus on this, and it's portable. So what happens is, I'm at my desk, I can use this along with all the other stuff I have, and then when I go away from my desk, I put it into my Finchley. I can either put it in here and forget it, but unfortunately I'm one of these people who is out of sight, out of mind. If it's in there, I don't use it anymore. So the reason for this hole will become apparent because I actually pop it onto the top of my Finchley like this, and it goes with me with the Finchley. This means that I can jot down, I can see what I need to do away from my desk, I can jot down anything that comes to mind. It's always there. The rest of the information can stay on my desk. And at the end of the day, all the tasks and appointments are normally crossed off, and the sheet goes into the recycling. I often have the day afters also with me, so I can knock down anything that has to be done the next day. But if anything's left undone, I can either move it across to the next day, or I can put it back into one of my notebooks or onto the computer. And I have a nice little thing on my desk here which contains all of these sheets for the next year, actually, in this case, and a few pieces of scraps which enable me to just grab one and write on it as required. As I said, this is unlikely to suit everybody. I've been using this method for several months. I find it incredibly useful. I just thought I'd pass on the idea. So if you find it useful, that's great. If you have any comments or questions, just pop them into the comments. Have a good day. Bye.